This is the IST Health Tip of the Day. I'm your host, Roberto Parker. This podcast, we tackle the tough questions related to exercise, training for athletes, human performance, biochemical, biomechanical dysfunctions, problems that sometimes you have questions about that you don't quite know the answer to. So stay tuned, enjoy, take good notes, and God bless. Hey guys, Roberto here with IST. According to some practitioners, aging itself is a disease. I know that might shock some of you. Aging itself really is the master of diseases. Things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, heart disease, those are pretty much all symptoms of the master disease called aging. Let me explain. I've talked about this before. Everything in our body begins at the cell molecular level, everything that we do. Our bodies are basically community of viruses, bacteria, cells called DNA. That's what we are. And when those things become mutant, rogue, tumorous, cancerous, we've got problems. Here's how aging really works at the cell level. When you're young, let's say under the age of 30, you can even say 20 for that matter, or 25, but let's say 30. Your body sloughs off old cells that is no longer in use because we don't have the same skin we had even a year ago, the same intestinal lining in terms of the cell lining of our intestines. Those things are all sloughed off, you might say. We develop new ones, kind of like a snake putting together new skin. I know that's probably not the best analogy, but that's the only one I could think of. Now, those things start to slough off. Old cells are sloughed off, new cells are made. Now, as we start to age, the new cells are made at a slower rate, and the old cells are now sloughed off at a decent rate. It takes longer for them to go away. What happens is that those old cells become dirty and toxic, and they become, you got it, cancerous, tumorous, mutant. They start to metastasize throughout our body, and that's how we develop diseases, such as heart disease, such as Alzheimer's, such as Parkinson's, such as cancer, such as thyroiditis, such as arthritis. All types of little nasty things that start to happen, even things like indigestion and things like tight joints. We don't have the mobility that we used to have, weaker muscles. All of these things can be the result of the aging process or the aging disease process. Here's the good news: you can slow that down. You're not going to stop it. In some cases, you can even reverse it in some cases, but you're not ever going to stop it. We're not getting out of this thing alive, any of us. So, once again, everything begins at the cell molecular level. When a cell becomes inflamed, that's another thing here that's important here. Inflammation really is at the core of all ailments and diseases. When a cell becomes inflamed, what happens is that there's a semi-permeable membrane around our cells. Nutrients cannot enter and things cannot exit that cell. So they become trapped. And guess what happens? It's like cutting off a pond of water or a river of water and damming it up and letting it just sit there. What happens? It starts to stink. It starts to become not real pleasant to be around. It gets kind of gross. Mold and mildew and everything else and fungus start to build up. And that's what happens to our cells in our body, believe it or not. And that can lead to a very extreme aging process. Now, you don't help it when you're overweight. You don't help it when you don't eat right. You're not helping it if you're not sleeping right, or sleeping qualitatively, I should say. You're not helping it if you're not exercising properly or doing the right types of exercise. You're not helping it. You've got to do all those things in order to slow down the process. So it begins at the cellular molecular level. If I were to pick out three things that would really help you improve your longevity of life, your quality of life relative to your health, and slowing down that process, it would be getting your muscles stronger, having a good, healthy liver that detoxifies well, and having a good, healthy gut, a good gut microbiota. Those three things are the most important. Now, there's other things too, like brain health, yes. But guess what? When the gut is not healthy, neither is your brain, because via the vagus nerve, your gut is connected to your brain. And when the gut is unhealthy, your brain goes to crap. Basically, is what happens. So it's important that you get these things right. So I just wanted to talk about this today because it's been on my heart for a little bit. And this is one of my favorite topics to talk about. If you listen to my podcast in the past 3, 4 years, at the core of practically everything I talk about is the gut, the liver, and the muscles. Those three areas. Types of exercise, type of eating plans, quality sleep, drink plenty of water, getting sunshine, getting fresh air, getting some vitamin D. Those things are all crucial. Okay? So, guys, I hope you got something out of this podcast today. I really enjoy doing these. My goal is not to lecture people. That's not my goal here. My goal is to educate you. I'm going to leave some references here that you can research yourself because I do a lot of reading and research on this stuff. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd about this stuff. I enjoy it, not because I want to say I'm smarter than anybody else. I enjoy it because, first of all, I enjoy learning about my own health, my own human body. And plus, it's what I do for a living. That's how I make my living. My goal is to help empower you. That is my goal, to help educate you about your health because that is what's lacking in our society today. Too many people don't know enough about their own body and their own health. I'm not saying you have to be a practitioner, trainer, physician. You don't have to do that. I'm not a physician, but I'm a practitioner and a trainer, and I've done a lot of studying in the area of health and fitness, and human performance, and sports performance. I've been doing this for 40 years. 40 years. Wow, hard to believe, but that's how long I've been doing this. So I'm kind of nerdy about it. I don't expect everybody to know what I know necessarily and be as passionate about it as I am. But you got to know some of the basics. Unfortunately, too many people out there know more about where they're going to go on their next vacation than they do their own health. They know more about a certain TV show or a game show or Dancing with the Stars, if that's still on TV. I don't know if it is or not. I don't watch that crap. But there's too many people who know more about that than they do their own health. And I find that to be a very sad commentary. So my goal is to empower you and to help educate you. If you need any help beyond that, contact me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Rumble, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I will also list all of those social media sites that you can also access. Hope you learned something, guys. Take care. God bless. This has been another IST health tip of the day. Bye bye.